So we won another national championship. We beat Western Kentucky of Conference USA. And now here we are going on to the offseason. USC wants to give me another contract. I had the option to enter the coaching carousel, but I chose not to. So I got a 6-year extension. They expect 12 wins every year now. Remember, we won the national championship every year since I've took over as head coach of this football team and have yet to experience a defeat. Yeah, I know it's unrealistic, but work with me. So as you can see, the University of Alabama, they want me as their head coach. Nebraska didn't have me on their radar, but I chose to stay at USC. And then look at this, we lost our defensive coordinator. He took another job. Now we have Justin Harris as our new defensive coordinator. Our old one, Morris Matson, took the head coaching job at BYU. A+ prestige, and he is well deserved considering he did really good for us while he was at USC. So he's expected to win 8 games, and he has a 5-year contract. Hopefully things work out for him out there in Provo, Utah. So as you can see on the players leaving list, we have a lot of players that are gone. Stanley Morales, though, decides to declare for the NFL draft. He has been there for 3 seasons, though, because he did red shirt, and now he's a red shirt junior. He had probably the best season in the history of USC football as a wide receiver. Man straight balled out, had over 20 touchdown receptions, beating Grant Brandt's record, aka Nelson Aguilar. On top of that, we're going to be missing Tony Stewart from Louisiana. Look at that, we had 3 first-round picks. Tony Stewart, Mike Singletary, our best middle linebacker we ever had, and John Simmons, our right tackle. Everybody else went 2nd round. Morales went 3rd round, surprisingly. I can't believe that, though. That wasn't accurate at all to me. What kills me is he was predicted to go 3rd round, but he had a great season, probably because of his overall. But nevertheless, he's in the NFL now. We're looking not to rebuild, but to reload. This team is still loaded despite the fact that we lost a lot of talent. Look at that. Steve Wyatt went 7th round, and he was one of our best players on the defensive line. That's crazy. But anyway, man, so we go over the signing day. We tried to get all 3 of these players, Jason Edwards, Jeremy Ramsey, Chris Love, but we only managed to get the left end Chris Love at 73 overall. Jason Edwards was one of the best tight ends in the country, and I'm very mad that we didn't get him. But despite that, we still have the #1 class again in the country, finishing up with 4 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and 8 3-stars. No 2-stars and no 1-star. We did miss out on some players, though. I'm very upset about that. Well, not too upset, because I think we're still going to run the table again and run for another national championship again, man. So here goes the schedule, by the way. As of now, USC is no longer in the Pac-12. We have decided to go independent. So we're going to be playing anybody that we want to play. We're going to start off going to Knoxville. We got Oklahoma. We're going to go to Mississippi State. Got Virginia Tech at the crib. We got Alabama. I believe that was at the crib. That was either at the crib or I changed that to Tuscaloosa. I forgot. Cal, San Jose State, West Virginia, and bye week, Stanford, South Carolina, UCLA, and then Notre Dame to end the season. Now this is going to be different because being confided in the conference has been traditional for us. It's going to be weird being independent, not having a conference game and all that good stuff. But this strength of schedule makes up for it. This is what it used to look like back in like the 1980s and the 1990s, especially that 95 Nebraska team that played like 5 or 6 ranked opponents and beat them all. That 95 Nebraska team was crazy. But that's not what this video is going to be about. As you see, we're taking on the Tennessee Volunteers, first game of the season, in the 2nd biggest stadium in the SEC and one of the biggest stadiums in the world, Neyland Stadium. So you see the title of this video. We're going to be talking about the return of NCAA football, the video game. And this is something that's been long overdue. I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time. As you know, in this channel, I have the Alabama State Dynasty. I have this Dynasty going on. But I want to talk about the return, man, because this is long overdue. Now, for well over a decade now, a lot of people have been expecting this game to come back. Well, take that back. It has been a decade now since the last game has came out, with Denard Robinson, a.k.a. Shoelace, rocking the cover as a quarterback for the University of Michigan. When that game came out and it was announced, the anno banning law, whatever it was called, and everybody was rushing to get the last copy. And then over the years, you saw copies of NCAA Football 14 just boost up to like $100, $200. Like, I remember trying to buy this game because I didn't know what I did with my original copy. But lo and behold, thank God for my pops. He went up the attic one day and found my old Xbox. And inside the Xbox, this was the Xbox 360, by the way. Inside that Xbox 360 was my copy of NCAA Football 14. And man, I regret the day that I stopped playing it. Probably got bored with it. I have no idea why. But with the game coming back now, like, well, 10 years later, because we gotta wait one more year. Almost forgot, they pushed it back to 2024. And that was mainly due to the fact, doing some research, the game just isn't ready yet. And I'm not mad at them for pushing it back, because I want them to get it right. I want them to get it right. I know that the Dynasty mode is going to come back. I know Road to Glory will be back. Now, there's some things that I want to see in the Dynasty mode. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of NCAA 06. As a matter of fact, I'm a big fan of the games when they came out in the 2000s. One of the best things and one of my favorite things to do, as well as other people, is recruiting. And I like the recruiting process from the 2000 games than I do on this game. Good Lord, look at him run that man over like that. That's Brandon Spicer. That's our freshman tight end from Florida. He is an absolute monster, standing at like, what, 6'6" or 6'7". We got some hauls, man, on this team, dog. Look at Antonio Sears, though, take that ball and improvise, showing the legs, showing the speed. But anyway, so the recruiting process in NCAA 06, as well as the other games in the 2000s, they focused on potential, discipline. You had a rating for hands if there was a wide receiver. You had field awareness being studied and stuff like that. But of course, as time went on, recruiting got advanced. They started breaking it down. Now they did, like on 14 they did. For cornerbacks, for example, they've done pursued, man coverage rating, zone coverage rating and stuff like that. For receivers, you have possession. You have catching, route running, and stuff like that. It's going in depth. And I like that. The only thing I didn't like about the NCAA 14 recruiting was the point process. I didn't like that. I don't like the point system. Santana Perry getting that pick right there. But I wasn't a fan of the point system. To me, it made recruiting boring. It wasn't as challenging. The only thing is, with NCAA 14, you just build up your coaching tree, you build up the recruiting tree, and then you build up the game time tree, the game management tree, what they call it. Once you build that tree up, and of course you have to build it up by not only winning games but reaching accolades. So with that being said, I would like for them to take some features from the games from the mid 2000s and use some of the features from NCAA 14. The gameplay in NCAA 14 was no doubt better. I know that running the football was harder for a lot of people, but the game is up to date as far as like style of play, playbooks and stuff like that. And that was another thing I loved about NCAA 14, man. Like, you can customize your own playbook with so many different formations, from the pistol, wing tees even still there, shotgun formations, ace formations, I formations. I know a lot of people like to run the read options from the shotgun position now in college football, even in the NFL now. You rarely see teams under center and doing their thing like that. But yeah, man, because like me, I don't like playing with great teams. I like playing with mid to trash teams and building them up to be powerhouses. I only took an exception with USC because we've been down for a very long time, and this is my favorite college football team. So with that being said, man, another thing I would like to see is the Heisman Trophy presentation return. That was a really great feature. And like from NCAA 06, NCAA 07, and I think it was on NCAA 08 if my memory is correct. That was a very great feature, man. And that would be nice for that to come back. Have the Heisman Trophy presentation and stuff like that. That was really cool. And then of course it was very disappointing when I was playing 14 and like NCAA 13 and NCAA 12, and they didn't have that. And now so many things have changed as far as the college football world now. Like you got schools leaving conferences, joining other conferences, and then you got what's really blowing up now is the transfer portal. And I can't wait till they put that in that game, because I can't wait to see how they do that. That's going to be crazy. You're going to be seeing players transferring in and out. If it's anything like real life, freshmen transferring out just because they wasn't starting as freshmen. That's crazy, dog. Now, as far as the college football playoff, I can't wait for that either. Can't wait how they do that. That's going to be very interesting. I do eventually plan to get the college football revamp on my PC. I'm still trying to figure out a way to do that. So stay tuned for that, man. I plan on doing that in the near future. Now, as far as the road to glory, I'm really not a big fan of road to glory. It's cool to concentrate on one player. You got YouTubers and content creators being creative with their road to glory, making up storylines and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool. But for the most part, the main reason I don't like road to glory is because you have to dominate with your one player in order to give yourself a chance to win. Like, for example, with running backs, you have to be the guy at running back. This is how I was with 14. Like, if you're a running back, the pass game is not going to be great. If you're a wide receiver, your run game is not going to be great. You're probably going to get the best balance playing as a quarterback on offense. Defense is fun to play with, like either safety, in my opinion, either linebacker or safety. Cornerback position is pretty tough for me. But yeah, if they was to do the road to glory, I would hope that they would bring the same concept like they did with NCAA 12. You had the road to glory special with Aaron Andrews on the feature and stuff like that, giving you like feedback on highlights. Kurt Herbstreit with his review of how you performed that week. And then of course, just imagine with the transfer portal being there though, dog, that's gonna be nuts. Because you got seniors and players that were starters and named all conference and stuff like that still transferring out. Let's see, another thing I would like to see. Now here's some things that I would like to see personally. So one thing that I always wanted to see was EA Sports give us the option to have uniforms customly made. Like we can make our own uniform for certain teams. Even teams that traditionally wear the same thing, like USC, always rocking the garnet top, the gold trunks with the red stripes. If I want to give USC some icy white uniforms, I should be able to do that, man. I think if anything, like with the garnet helmet and the icy whites, that'll be real cool. But you know, like alternate uniforms has become trendy now. It's become a thing in college football. Just seeing the authentic college football atmosphere, that's going to be really cool. Like for example, and what was it? NCAA, yeah, like NCAA 12, 13, 14. When the Oregon Ducks come out the field, you see the Duck mascot riding out in that motorcycle like that. They're looking to bring all that back, or like the Oregon State Beavers. You know, they got that chainsaw coming out with the beaver holding the chainsaw or whatever it was. I forgot. But it should be interesting, man, as this game gets ready to come back. Like I said, we gotta wait another year before it does. But I can't wait to see how it goes, man. I want to see what the gameplay is going to be like. Excuse me. I know that they have came out and said that they're going to use a Madden engine, so I know I haven't been playing many Madden games as of late, because to me Madden's trash now. Last time I played Madden was what, Madden 22. My little 12-year-old cousin, he was playing with the Cowboys. I was playing with the Buccaneers. That's my favorite NFL team. He beat me on the first game because I did a new move and tried to force something in the end zone when I should have checked down. I had a wide open man open in the middle of the field, and he ended up beating me as I was driving down the field getting ready to score. Second time we played, I got my revenge and beat him in overtime because he kept playing around. He thought I wasn't going to beat him. But yeah, man, anyway, dog, like, this would be great. Considering a lot of people that are like big, a lot of youngsters though, that are big Madden fans, they now get to see what was dear to us as we was coming up, especially during my late teenage and college days. This is all I played, man, like building dynasties and stuff like that. Another thing that I've always wanted to see is the return of the creator sign. That was really cool. That was back in what, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, and then I think they stopped doing it after NCAA 2009. But that was really cool. Another thing though, I forgot, like, they could use the NCAA 10 recruiting process where you phone athletes and stuff like that. You phone athletes and you're given a limited amount of minutes and a limited amount of time and stuff like that. And they would buy into that. If they felt like you was calling them too much, they would back out and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. But I can't wait for the return of this game, man. I really can't. I just want to play this revamp just to get my hands wet again before the game actually comes out. So be on the lookout for that, man. I do want to play that college football revamp. I'm still trying to decide who do I want to play with. I'm going to do like a coaching carousel where I go like the different colleges and stuff like that. Start as probably an offensive coordinator or as a defensive coordinator, and then eventually become a head coach. But what do y'all think, man? Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Peace.